Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
It's been a while since I've made a big old dark Belgian beer. So holidays are coming up, and so I thought now is a great time to do it.
It is.
So so what we got here, I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna rely on you to see if it's a double or if it's not a double or if it's just a Belgian dark strong ale. I don't know.
Pressure.
Yeah. Well, be thinking about that while I talk about the recipe.
Okay.
For this batch, I started with 9 gallons or 34 liters of water at 148 degrees Fahrenheit or 64 C. And I started with more water because this is a bigger malt bill. It had 13 pounds or 5.9 kilograms of Belgian Pilsner malt, 8 ounces or 226 grams of Special B. And I mashed that at 148 degrees Fahrenheit or 64 C for 90 minutes. And then I used the wort pump that came with the system to recirculate the high gravity system or the Warthog system from high gravity. And I used the pump, which I generally don't use on moderate gravity beers, but just to recirculate that wort over the mash. And then after the mash, I collected my wort and I boiled. This is a 90-minute boil, so I boiled for 30 minutes. And after that, I added 2 ounces or 56 grams of Styrian Goldings at 2.6% for 60 minutes. 30 minutes later, I added 1 ounce or 28 grams of the same stuff, Styrian Golding, for the last 30 minutes of the boil. And at that point as well, I added 1 pound or 450 grams of D90 Belgian candy syrup. So at the end of the boil, I chilled my wort, and into that I pitched Imperial B48 Triple Double. And I made a 1 liter starter for this because the yeast was, I had a packet that was 5 months old. So I generally don't use a starter for Imperial yeast, but since that was 5 months old, I decided to do a 1 liter starter just to wake it up and freshen it up.
Yep. Wow,
it went to work. It really hit the ground running, and I had to clean up a couple of times. So it might have been able to do the job without that starter, but for such a big beer at 1071, and it was 5 months old. Now, Imperial has recently extended their recommended shelf life to 4 months.
Yeah.
So this was 5 months. So still, I wanted to make that starter just to...
Yep.
So the starting gravity 1071, final gravity 1012 for an ABV of 7.9%. So, it's a pretty big beer.
That's a big one.
So now that the head is gone, it's not as pretty. Let's taste it. Oh, it's got a reddish hue.
It does have a reddish hue. It's beautiful.
Cheers.
It smells like cooked like brownies and figs and toffee. Wow, that's a good beer.
It's big.
It's not small.
No.
That is a nice beer. It doesn't drink hot. It's wow. You could get very intoxicated on this.
But it's good. It's a good food beer, I think.
Yeah, it is.
So, do you think it's big enough and to be a double? Would you call this a double?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
Yeah, it's not as
or a double.
Double.
To me, it's a big beer. It's big and chewy. I think of doubles or doubles. Maybe I'm thinking of quads. I mean, quads
it's
are
not
like
a quad.
syrupy,
That's
sweet.
what I was going to say.
This is not that at all.
It's not a quad.
I think maybe this is double-ish.
I think it's a double. I'm not a style guru, but
Yeah.
I think it's a double.
Well, there you go.
And it's such an easy drinking beer. It's just as smooth as silk. It's got a ton of layers of flavor, and it's all those winter flavors. It's all those rich toffee and raisin and fig,
And then with some spice on
some
the top.
spice, and
That yeast, the triple double, it puts some. There's a layer of spice on the top of that really. It's like a spice cake.
it is. It is. It's a lot like it's also a little bit like a ginger snap, and there's no ginger in it, but it reminds me of a ginger snap.
This malt bill is super simple, mostly Belgian Pilsner, but just half a pound or 226 grams of special B. And we talked about this when I was at the shop formulating the recipe. I just wanted a little bit of that caramel in there and to take care of the color. And of course the D90 Belgian candy syrup is going to darken it too, and also bring those kind of brown sugary flavors in it. Wow.
That's super good.
So I got a surprise for Steve. I told him that it's not such a surprise. I told him I was going to have a surprise.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about doing a cooking show, and our time is so limited nowadays that we don't have time for cooking shows as much anymore. But I said that I would do something. So here we have a surprise.
What do you got?
It's like a little present.
Oh my goodness. It's a pecan pie.
It's a holiday season.
It's a holiday season. Oh my, that will go perfect with this.
Now, this is if you're familiar, especially like if you grew up in the South.
Oh yeah.
You're familiar with the Cairo nut pie, which is what Mom always used to make, and the recipe comes on the Cairo syrup, or syrup if you live in the northern part of the country. It's just, the ingredients are 1 cup of Cairo light or dark, used light, corn syrup, 3 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons butter melted, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1.5 cups pecans into a 9-inch deep pie crust, and you just mix all that stuff together and bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit I baked it for 55 minutes, and I took the temperature inside and it was over 200.
You made this?
Yes, I did.
This didn't come from the Piggly Wiggly?
No, well, the spy shell did. I didn't make the crust, but yeah, I made you a pie.
My gosh!
And it's so
That's
easy.
awesome.
It didn't take long at all. But
it's also my favorite kind of pie.
But cut into it.
All right.
While the dogs bark.
Who let the dogs out?
I'm going to yell at the dog here in a second. It's made of concrete.
Well, they should be.
Essentially, I mean, this recipe, you're just making candy.
Well, that's what they are. That's why they're so darn good.
Essentially. This is the first one of these I've ever made. I mean, they're a holiday tradition, and they're better a little bit warm. This was made in the fridge, so it's a little harder.
Actually, I like them cold.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got some ice cream, too, that we can add later. You're destroying this pie. Not only will people criticize your way of pouring beers now, they'll criticize your way of,
I couldn't cut
serving
the
a pie. You cut your nuts in your own time.
I didn't get a clean cut on the nut.
It'll taste the same, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh,
I made pumpkin pies before, but I've never made a pecan pie. And I was kind of worried because, the nuts are all mixed in when you put it in the oven, but they all float to the top, it looks like. Thank you.
This will be perfect with this beer.
Not an endorsement from the Cairo syrup company.
Or for Cairo, Illinois.
Spelled different, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Just like Mom used to make.
Wow. That is a little taste of the South. Right there.
And it took... It took like 10 minutes to mix all that stuff together.
Oh, Lord.
It's dangerous that I now know how to do this.
Wow.
So...
That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So good. Oh my goodness. The beer is perfect.
That's pretty darn good.
I just, what a job we've got. We're just eating pie and drinking beer. Life is good.
Well, there you go.
Make this pie.
Make the beer too. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. So happy Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
And happy brewing, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Come and visit us online. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. If you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, stop by Steve's Brew Shop or find him online at stevesbrewshop.com. So here we have a surprise!